All right, good morning, everybody. Tony Sachs here with you on March 17th. Man, it is raining here in Central Ohio, but I think people are going to be home, and hopefully you guys get out there and have some great luck today in this awesome business of final expense insurance. Well, we got a Power Pack call for you. Had some great numbers yesterday. I'm very excited to get into our case studies from our top producers on yesterday. But before we do, I've got some things I want to share with you, man. And every morning I get up early, got about 5:30 this morning, and was just thinking of some things I could share with the team that would be helpful, and some things I've faced over the years. And I got kind of thinking about, one of the ones that's kind of funny to me that my mentor taught me a long time ago. And it's a principle of success in this final expense business. There are several things I think you have to do, you have to learn to do, and I don't have time to get into all of those this morning, but we're going to do more talks about these principles, these founding kind of principles, as we go through the coming weeks and get them on the recordings for the training platform. But I really want to dive into this one and really help, especially the new folks, understand the importance of this principle, okay, and why we do it the way we do. Because I can still remember probably 11 years ago now, like it was yesterday, I was driving with my mentor at the time, and we were in Dayton, Ohio, and we went up to a house, and the husband was not home. I believe it was just the wife that was home, and he refused to go in the home and do a presentation, and we ended up rescheduling or asking when he would be home and to come back later. So the principle he taught me at the time was not to go for the one-legger, okay? Not to go for the one-legger. And I remember I'm like, why not? Let's just go talk to him. And, of course, I was new. I was green. I didn't understand the business. But he says, Tony, you'll understand. He says, just listen to me on this. Do not do a one-legger. What's a one-legger? It's where there's only one decision maker, one spouse available, okay? It's very important you understand this, because the temptation is there's someone right in front of me. Man, I can do this right now. I can get this deal. And I want you to understand right now, no, you will not. Somebody right now is probably saying, well, I had a time when, I get it. There's a 1 in a million shot. Every now and again, something's going to happen where you can get a deal. But for the vast majority of cases, one-leggers are the kiss of death. You're burning a lead. Look, the leads are $30+ and which I think we get a good conversion ratio for what that cost is, but you could also hurt yourself and lose that value if you don't handle them appropriately. So it's very important we learn to manage those leads and manage them appropriately, okay? So what happens when you show up at the house? Spouse is there. Let's say you do decide to go, and I want to share with you what happens. My story, even though my mentor taught me, do not do a one-legger. I had to test it. I was a little thick-headed, a little bulldog in the beginning, Tony Sachs, he knows better, okay? And I didn't, and I was wrong. And I had a gentleman, I believe it was in Cincinnati, Ohio. This was probably second year in the business, and I got to the door, and he remembered the card. He said, oh, yeah, man, I remember sending that in. I sent that in for some life insurance. I mean, he knew what it was for. I mean, our leads are good. So I said, okay, great. I said, I'd really rather talk to, the missus when she gets home with you. And it was his girlfriend, and he said, no, man, I remember he was one of those alpha male types. He's like, I make these decisions. I mean, he was real aggressive about it. I make these decisions. We don't need her. And I don't get too many people like that out there in the business that talk like that. So I'm like, all right, well, maybe he really does make those decisions. And so I went ahead and went in. We did the presentation. Had a great time, man. We're cutting up, talking, having fun. We're an hour into this thing, and I get down to pricing. And guess what he says to me at the end? I got to talk to my girlfriend. I couldn't believe it. My jaw hit the ground. This guy tells me he's the man. He's making these decisions. We don't need her. I mean, he was there again, kind of that way. That was the flavor of the conversation until we got to the end. And he said, we got to bring her in on this. I didn't even know what to say. Did not get the sale. Just, I never got the sale. I never was able to get back in there with him because I'd already given him the information, which I guarantee was not properly presented to her when she came home. Let's talk about what happens when you do a one-legger and you do a presentation to the spouse, male or female, it doesn't matter, and then the other spouse gets home, how it's projected, okay? So we go through a very step-by-step presentation, all the phases of it. If you're doing it properly, we're going through it in order. And it's very effective at getting deals done. It's designed that way. It's designed for you guys to have maximum success and a maximum closing ratio if done properly. All of that gets thrown out the window, though, because you go through the value of whole life, the difference in term, and all the goodies, the 3 guarantees. Okay? Let's say the husband was the one you presented to. Wife or spouse gets home. Okay? The husband says, hey, the insurance man or woman was here, and they said we can get $10,000 for $50 a month. What do you think? Now, it took you an hour to go through the presentation, explain to them about all the goodies and all the benefits and all the features, and it was a wow, and it was amazing, and she's not impressed. She says, honey, we can get AARP through the mail or Globe Life for $20 a month for $50,000. What are you doing? He says, okay, and he goes back to watching TV. And you lost the deal and you wasted your time. That's exactly what happens, okay? Because he is not a salesperson. He's not effective at explaining your position. Now, had you gotten in there, had you had the opportunity to go through the presentation with both decision makers, gone over it with them in detail, you would have been able to get that deal done. Guys, this is so important. Listen, this is a principle for success. So many new producers over the years I've explained this. And people sometimes don't listen, and they get out and they say, man, the business doesn't work. No, the business works if you work it properly, if you listen to your mentor. Listen, we failed many times at things, and we want to make sure you have all the right resources, all the things to be successful, and this is one of them. And so be aware. I've just painted the picture for what happens. No excuses, guys. I don't even give my business card at the door. Just a quick FYI. If the spouse is the only one there, how you doing? I'm the benefits coordinator, Tony Sachs. Listen, I was just here to get that information to you guys on those new state-regulated final expense programs you requested information on. I'm the local person here for that. I'm just meeting everyone in town today. I just need a couple of minutes. When will he or she be home later on? And let's say they say, well, they come home around 4:30. Okay, great. Let me just stop back by then. Have a nice day, and I head out of there. Okay? Why? Because I don't want them to be in control. You give them your card, they're going to call you later, don't worry about it, we changed our mind. Okay? You might say, well, Tone, why would you do it? Listen, I am in control. It's very important that you're in control. So when I show up, again, I'm smiling, I'm looking professional, I'm dressed to the nines, and it's like, Mrs. Johnson, how you doing? I'm back, And it's very hard for them to tell me no at that point versus on the phone. And so listen, everything in our business is about control. I want you guys to pay attention to that, okay? If you got further questions, hit me up later. We can talk about it, but hopefully you got something out of that.